Okay, everyone, we're about to start the debates now. So, everyone, thank you for coming to the first Imperator debate, a triumvirate debate for the Holy Calritic Empire. This is a historic moment where four imperial clans came together to reform and reunite the empire that used to be. So, I appreciate everyone coming here because this is the first step of many great things to come. So today we'll be having the console, the triumvirate, all the triumvirate positions answer the debate questions. So we have our Imperator candidate Cronus. We also have Dutch, um, who's going to be answering the questions. Uh, and we have Saki Momo also. Unfortunately, Exorcism couldn't make it today, so I'll try to answer questions on his behalf for whatever question he gets. Please remember there's an anonymous question form in the public announcements. If you have any questions you think of that you don't want to ask in person, please be sure to put that in. Um, I will check that soon, and I'm going to start asking the anonymous questions. So feel free to use the form. It's in public announcements. Okay. So with that said, let's start the debates. So first of all, Dutch, I always call on you first. Do you mind making an opening statement first?
I didn't really prepare an opening statement as always. I'm a very ad lib about this, and it usually bites me in the ass. But basically, the reason I want to be censored is because it's sort of the position that I've always been used to, what I've been a part of in the clan, and so also because it's basically managing Discord. There's no government. It's just Discord and shit like that, and basically the whole priority is to make the system efficient as possible so those that use it, find it easier and, we don't end up with all kinds of junk like people getting stressed or, someone spending a lot of money on some horse armor. Anyway, I guess to summarize, what I want is to go back to that sort of efficient system so we could, I don't know, grow out. Because right now we're at the foundation, and, the bigger we make the foundation, the bigger we can get in general. So, yep, that's all.
Away,
Oh,
away. Okay,
hold on,
go
hold
on.
on. I forgot to get on my fancy shit. Hold on. Something like that did not happen yet. Hold on. Shit. Alright.
Do you have more to say, Dutch?
No, I just wanted to do this.
Okay. Now I'm gonna call upon Saki Momo. Running for console, Saki. So do you have a opening statement?
Um, I really kind of just want to command the army,
Ave!
lead us to glory.
Okay. So on his behalf,
Can you give us a little bit more information about your experience?
Uh, my experience is deep with defeat and glory.
I mean, who do you fight?
I fight the heathens.
Okay, but can you name some battles you participated in, or why would you even command the army?
I commanded the army a couple weeks ago, and we almost beat Sudan and them if we didn't get jumped again. So we drawed with them for an hour and a half. So I would say that this is known and that this is a win.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this good?
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of underselling yourself because you have quite a lot of more experience than that, but you're not. I don't think you're doing a very good job in selling yourself.
Okay, I'm sorry that I'm not selling
I'm
myself.
just gonna say that Momo is a bit is not so much of a politician, but he has participated in many battles with us. He has proven to be a good team player, and he has led our teams as well from II, always fighting the A teams from the enemies, and he always wins our tournaments. So from martial arts to team combat, he has really proven himself.
I would say individual skill in battle when I watched their fight. Even when he was the last one up, he was like single-handedly almost carrying that fight that day. So I know he has individual skill. He didn't say that, so I wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
He's underselling himself for sure. He deserves that.
I really appreciate you guys bringing that in. I think that's, we have a very humble candidate here, but, thank you for bringing that on. Now, Cronus, running for Imperator, former Imperator of IRC, coming back to reunite the Empire. Please give us your opening statement.
Friends, countrymen, faithful Imperials, I address you tonight on the eve of a new era which will bring an end to the turmoil and division that has plagued our people for far too long. There was once a time that Imperials stood united, ready to stand together against any adversary. Our enemies would tremble when they heard the sound of our legions marching towards the battlefield. Indeed, there is a special quality that us Imperials have, not just the propensity to build and to conquer, but the divine right to rule. We Imperials are embers of the flame, a chosen people whose culture radiates with greatness. And it is our duty to make sure this God-given power isn't being squandered by petty gains or politics. Fortunately, this period of imperial decline, following the Great Schism, has equally made our enemies fat and complacent. This is why, despite the time we spent divided, we're in the perfect position now to reunify the Empire and strike down the savages while the iron is hot. This week, history was made with the establishment of the Holy Karatic Empire, the one true successor to the Imperial Republic of old. The forces of the Imperial Inquisition, the legions of the Old Republic, and the Zayan dynasty now stand together against the heathen, this time united by a collective spirit, a more robust system of government, and a burning passion for greatness. With the Prophet Tibulis as my witness, if I am elected Imperator, I will do everything in my power to rebuild our civilization and make our forces stronger than they ever were before. I have acquired a great deal of experience doing just that, having served as clan leader of Leviathan, as a senator and imperator in the IRC, and most recently as Lord Commander of the Imperial Inquisition. All along, I have felt a sense of duty and commitment to serving the Empire, and today I stand before you as the only person willing and able to fill the all-important role of guardian of our people. Most importantly, I have the wit, drive, patience, and battle experience needed to rule effectively. I understand the role that I must fill, and I will represent all Imperials faithfully every step of the way. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time with questions or concerns you might have, and I will be happy to address them. I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to serve the Empire once again. Long live the Holy Karatic Empire!
Ave! Long live the HCE! Okay, those were very good opening statements from everyone. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the questions. At any point, if anyone has questions they want to ask to the candidate, if you didn't want to submit it in the anonymous forms, please stand by me and I'll give you a chance, or just let us know when the candidate finishes speaking. So we're going to start going to the questions and answers right now. Okay. So, first question. This is for everyone. So we'll start with Cronus. So the question is, will you continue an alliance with Ronin after their oath-breaking attacks against Britannia? Cronus.
So wait, can you repeat the last part of the question? After what with Britannia?
So the question is that it comes from Britannian, I would guess. Will you continue an alliance with Ronin after their attack against the Britannians yesterday?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Ronins have been very transparent and open with us, and they come to our defense just as we come to theirs. I appreciate the communication from Kalfang and Brendan, who constantly come into our channels giving us updates and warning us whenever there's a threat nearby or when there's a chance for us to collaborate with each other. And I think that our combined strength definitely makes it much more difficult for the Vlandians to snowball and continue growing their strength. People want to join a faction that they think is on top, that they think is winning, right? So these victories that we have from this alliance is very important for preventing Flandia from becoming a mega faction. Right? Everyone's going to join them just because they have the largest group that's in the game right now. We need to prevent that by doing everything we can to stand against them.
Okay. Sounds good. Now, Momo and Dutch, since you'll be part of the triumvirate, you guys can give your stance on this. So the context was that like yesterday, obviously we had there was a fight between Sturgia and Vandia, Ronan and Vandia, sorry, and Britannia. So and it was Britannia is claiming that it was a breaking of the truce. So what's your stance on that? Do you want to continue our relationship with Ronan after that incident? That's the question. Dutch.
Personally, yeah. I don't see why not, to be honest, because as far as I know, recently, Britannia, before the truce happened, like, they're the ones attacking us. Meanwhile, Ronan was the one backing us up. So I feel like it'd be bad for us to sort of, throw Ronan under the bus for the guys that kind of, been attacking us. So
Sounds good. And Momo?
So you're saying that Batania broke the alliance, or that Ronan broke the alliance?
Britannia is saying that Ronan broke the alliance. The
Um,
details, we can discuss later, but go on.
uh, Definitely keep running.
Okay.
Not really
So,
trust heathens,
yeah.
or those heathens.
Every candidate unanimously reaffirms our relationship with Ronan. Obviously, diplomacy is not going to be thrown out the window, but yes. Okay, so moving on to the second question. This is for everyone as well. What is your plan to increase recruitment into the clan with the new update coming in? So, Dutch, you can go first on this. What's your recruitment plan?
It's my bread fucking and butter, man. Literally the strategy is you walk around in the farms, look for some naked men, you walk up to them, you chat them, a little bit ferociously, seduce them a little bit if you have to. And then what you do is that you're off them a little bit of gear or cash. Then after that, it's just a fucking straight home into getting them to the Discord. Just a very straight line. I used to do it back in June or like very early July. And like, I think I still have the screenshot. And maybe you could still do it because now we have 500 members. You can go back in the logs of the server. But I got like 100 guys in like 3 fucking days. It's so easy.
Okay. Good accomplishments. Momo, what's your
Uh,
plan to drive up recruitment into the clan?
just kind of, if we can, adopt a system like the Inquisition, where we have people, in order to like move up in the clan, they have to recruit people. And in my opinion, that's a pretty good idea. I don't know if we do have places like that where you can move up in the clan, but it definitely adds incentive to recruit people.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Could I chime in?
Yes. Yes, you may.
Yeah. Sucky, what we could do is that I'm pretty sure you're aware of this. Back in like the old system, like it was a really short-lived one, but we had a patrician role, like around in July or something like that. And basically, the only way you could get patrician is if you recruit like X amount of members. I think like just the general like low ranking stuff, most people won't want to recruit. They just like trying to survive, getting past the fucking sea raiders outside Sianica. But like for higher up ranks that sort of have responsibilities, maybe even privileges, I think that'd work.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
good. Okay. And Cronus, what's your plan for recruitment for the HCE?
Yeah, so adding on to that, so I actually was the one that designed those roles for when I was Emperor of the IRC. I created the system in which, in order to rank up inside of the clan, you have to fulfill certain requirements. And then you automatically rank up and you gain different permissions and privileges. So it started out with plebs, and then it went citizen, equites, nobiles, basically like the nobles in the clan. And then the patricians, right? And each level unlocks the ability for you to do new things. Like once you become an equite, then you have the ability to join the Imperial Army. But first, to become an equite, you had to have 40 troops, and you must have also, I think, you had to like recruit one person. And then to go further up in the clan, which let's say you want to become a patrician. Well, why? Because that will allow you to run for office, right? So I designed patrician to be like if you want to become a magistrate inside of the clan, or if you want to run for emperor, you had to first be patrician, meaning you had to have at least 80 troops, and you had to recruit even more people. But beyond that, you had to not just recruit them, like not just naked like peasants off the street, but you had to recruit people that eventually became a citizen or eventually became an equite. So in that way, it's not just recruitment. I think that's the most important thing. I think you also need to focus on training, and you need to incentivize people inside the clan to put effort into helping others around them grow. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could do that. One really effective way I've seen is by lending troops to newcomers. So you have a reserve of crossbowmen. You can like give these crossbowmen to people to help them grind a lot faster, and they'll get to the higher point. And another thing I want to mention is that with the clan update that's coming out right now, and with the limits that are in the clan, we don't really want to focus as much on growing just our sheer population, but also on investing in our people, making them all formidable fighting forces. So I think that that's equally important, actually, to develop the people that we already have, get them to the point where they could stand on their own. So that could be like giving them loans, grants, could be giving them troops, just offering them guidance and rewarding people that do things like that by putting some sort of minimum requirements in place to be part of the government, right? If you want to, that's why like when I was emperor, I also made it so if you wanted to command a legion, then you had to show that you had the ability to recruit people and also to promote them. And then you got the freedom to decide whatever you wanted to do with your legion. You could name it whatever you want. You could have your own legion banner. You could have your own exercises with the people in your legion. You can select who's in it. All these different things, the privileges that you get for contributing to the clan. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, those are a lot of things I could do.
Great points. Great points. Okay, so now we have another question that's directed at Dutch and Cronus. So, in your opinion, what roles do memes play in our empire as a whole? In your opinion, so Dutch can go first. What role does memes play?
I don't know about you, but literally, well, I'm guessing memes also, like, I think they're just generalizing propaganda in general. Like, bro, literally the whole community we had was saved by that shit. Alright, it's sort of like just a little booster. There's, like, nothing wrong with it, really. It usually drives activity, and if it doesn't, it keeps the current people, active. And, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people here, like, have all watched fucking Exorcism's videos. Like, it's literally what drives us to be active, along with the other guys to even, like, just entice them to join.
Okay, and Cronus.
Yeah, I think it's really about like having a culture that is unique to the empire and that draws people in. That makes us feel like we have a community we're all a part of. That not everybody, like not everybody understands that. This is something that we all share with each other. We share our own history, our own values. I think that Imperials are just fundamentally different than the rest of the cultures and what our interests are and what we like to do, right? So I think it's really important. I think memes definitely we should have somebody who's in charge of producing high quality memes, and maybe they get some sort of like compensation for creating good memes. Yeah.
Okay, so this one's an important another one. Um, this deals with the upcoming war. So the question is, in the upcoming war, what's your plan to organize the military against PG? So I'll let Sakimomo go first on that. What's the military plan against PG?
Um, I personally don't even think that PG matches us in numbers. They're, I don't think they're even capable of fighting us. Unless it's 18 versus 18, they might win. But we have 2 to 3 more squads that are going to come in and wipe them out. And it all depends on how the update goes. Um, we don't know how everyone's going to start playing. We don't know if we're going to be under war. It's just very situational.
Okay. Um, Dutch, like when the Imperator and the consul is absent in their place, the censor, as long as the Imperator grants it, censor has executive control of the entire Imperial Army. So what would be the plan against PG military organization wise?
Military. I don't have much
Did
experience
someone say
fighting.
my name?
Shut up, Rashka. Fucker. But I rarely went down to Wildlands. It's not some grand conspiracy to not know that. I went down there a lot, and more importantly, I viewed a lot of battles. And as far as I can tell, the grand strategy, there's basically two strategies. You either have to play the economical one, where you sort of, use lower tier troops, but effectively to basically kill them economically. So they waste all the money on their troops, whatever they lose in battle, etc. And the other one is just, fucking balls to the wall. You get your best troops against their best troops, and you go head to head. And in those kinds of situations, as far as I'm aware, as long as we could make the Strategicon, as I've said, that's basically my bread and butter. That's the best thing I'd offer, because I'm no commander, so I'd just point to that fucking book right there, and I'd probably
Dutch, like
assign someone to lead.
follow up question: has the strategicon been made available to the officers in the clan?
I don't have access to the document because I'm pretty sure Severus. Well, I don't have access to like share it and stuff like that
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
think Severus has the ownership of it. I don't
We
know. Maybe I could. I
yeah, we
haven't.
should get the ball rolling on that. But yeah, go on. Did you have more to add?
No, not really.
Okay, okay, okay. Good answer. And then Cronus, what's the plan for military organization against PG?
And I think it's very important to note how this update is going to change everything when it comes to PvP. The way it currently is in the Wildlands, you're limited to groups of 5 that you have to have set in advance, prior before you go out, right? And even people on your own team are going to show up as hostile if they're in another group, right? But with this open map PvP, groups are not going to be necessary anymore to join up together, right? But back in the day, it used to be a big problem when if we had a lot of people online, but they're smaller stacks with lower quality troops, they couldn't help each other and they couldn't really do anything if there was a really strong team of 5 that was waiting out there to get them. It doesn't matter if you send 20 or 30 people against them. That team of 5 will just take you one squad at a time, and they'll just kill you. And that's what happened with Dawnguard. But now, with this open world PvP against all the clans that are at war with us, and with the alliance system, anybody can join your battle anytime, whether in the group or not. So it's going to be a lot easier for our clans and our empire to deal with that and in killing PG. And killing Valandia and Botania, frankly. I think that this is hugely to our advantage because the IRC, as it was previously known, has always had a very large population, but with not too many high quality like commanders. And now we're able to team together. So now, like, imagine you're fighting 195 stack from PG. Now you can do it with your group of like 260s or whatever, and like you could take them on and win pretty easily. I don't think it's going to be much easier for us now than it was before. Actually, I think that we're going to do a lot of asymmetrical warfare. We're going to ambush people by the bridges, by the mountains, everything. Also, they're not on that often, but we have very good active engagement. We can kill them while they're training their troops. Before they're even ready for battle, we're going to catch them off guard and destroy them. That will make everything so much easier. So I'm actually very optimistic. I think that we can totally do this.
Yeah, are you in favor of having organized military plans, like say working with the consul to organize the army, figure out plans for what kind of troops is the most efficient? Basically implementing the strategies in the strategicon and what troops would be most efficient in fighting a long-term battle. Do you have plans to do something like that, Cronus?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't want to put like mandates in place to say you have to use a certain type of troop or anything. But I think like recommendations and also if you want to be part of a strategic unit like a cohort or a legion in the new Imperial Army, then definitely you have to listen to your Centurion on that. If they tell you you need to use a certain type of troop, then you should do it for the cohesion of your squad, right? And everyone will have more fun that way if the squad works well together. If we have success, we're going to have more fun. So yeah, 100%. I think that like with all the new maps and everything, what do they say? They're adding like literally like 100 new maps. Um, every battle is going to be different, so it's not like there's this one size fits all approach you could have. But definitely the strategies to be changing. I'll look at things like that as it comes out.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Good answers, everyone. So the next answer. Um, sorry. Next question. So, what will be your diplomatic stance against the Western Alliance, i.e., Vlandia and Britannia? We can start with Cronus again.
Repent or die.
Okay. And then Dutch.
Honestly, oh wait, repeat the question again.
What diplomatic stance will you pursue with the Western Alliance, Vlandia and Britannia?
Here's the thing, Britannia actually isn't like that bad because what happened originally is that we were allies with Britannia. I think that how their group plays is that it's like a pendulum basically. After the Empire broke down, they swung over towards Valandia because that makes
Papa,
sense. They wanted to be allies with the
come here.
strong guys. So I think the most effective way to do it is that if we could sort of swing the pendulum back and become powerful ourselves to get Britannia against Valandia. Because I think trying to fight against Britannia and Valandia would sort of just be this massive stalemate between all the factions against the other group of factions. But if we could get powerful enough as we were before, get Britannia back in the fold, I think that'd make the difference.
Okay, sounds good. And Momo, do you have anything to add to that? Add to these?
No, not really.
Okay.
I think. Sorry, I think that. I mean, we're not for the near future. We're not ever going to be friends with Blandia, that's for sure. But as for Britannia, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about them because they did leave to go to Vlandia, but they're not. I don't want to say not as bad as the Vlandians, but they're not good either. So we'll just see how that plays out. I'll leave that up to the politicians.
Sure. And are you guys open to pursuing a non-aggression pact with the Western Alliance at the start of the new update? Cronus.
I actually think no. I think that it would be good just to fight them right off the bat because, like I mentioned before, I think that it actually favors us. I know that it sounds like kind of crazy. It's like, oh, look, Landia and Britannia have been so strong, and we're the Empire. We just came together. Don't we want to, like, regroup and slowly build up our strength? No, I think that we need to kill them while we have an edge, and I think we truly do have an advantage over them because of how combat is changing. We really do have more numbers, like medium-sized players. Like if you count how many people we have from like 50 to like 70 or 80 troops, it's a lot, and I think it's more than what they can bring out, especially if you're considering who's active. So yeah, no, I think they're gonna die, and we shouldn't give them a chance to improve their situation. We should strike them down while we have an edge.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll move on to the next question. So, okay. So the question basically boils down to, what's your position on taxes? How much taxes will you be charging everyone with the new update? Cronus.
I want to keep taxes to a minimum. I don't think that we should take anything away from our people that we don't need to spend. Like, we shouldn't tax first and then come up with what we should spend it on. We should have an idea of something everyone would benefit from first, and then think about taxing. And yeah, and after asking a lot of people and everything first to see if it's actually something that they want. Yeah. So as minimally as possible. I mean, I think there are useful things you use taxes for and helping, like, because like the more experienced of a player you are, the faster you can get gold, right? When you're a super noob, right, and you just started playing, how long did it take for you to get that first 10K to get your trading license? It took forever, and you're just like farming and wasting your time basically. Someone could have just given you something to get the ball rolling. The government could do that, but yeah, yeah, I still want to keep taxes.
Sounds good. Dutch. Sounds good. Dutch. Do you have any thoughts to add to that?
Yeah. Under my time as basically Steve's ward, he taught me a lot of things, but he showed me a bit of history during the time around the English Civil War. And how they used to get taxes back then is that they would basically call a parliament. And so, how we could implement that is that we could basically say to the senators that, hey, we're running low on cash. And that, if the senators pay in all this money, it's sort of like a loan to the government in a way. Because if it's truly needed for like warfare and everything, and we clap the bastards, we'll definitely make all the money back from killing them and taking their gear. So I think the best solution, because if you just have a like just a flat tax, it's gonna either get it's just gonna lead to corruption and other stuff like that. That's my opinion of it, at least. It's sort of just like we're sort of reliant on it. We don't really have a responsibility for ourselves. So I think having the ability for basically the situation where you'll be able to call the senators to donate and they'll be guaranteed to get that money back.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Um, Now, this is a related question. The question is, so what's your expenditure plan as the head of, as the controller of the treasury? Like, on what issues do you want to spend on? Because in the past, the imperial clans have been notorious for not spending money from the treasury, and it all sitting there. So, what's your plan for expenditure? Cronus can go first.
I'd want to spend on equipping and subsidizing the newer players to the point that they can stand on their own and they can they get to a point where they're making their own income and are more productive members of the empire. I'd want to spend on events that give back to the people through giving them content that they can enjoy, like hosting tournaments and stuff with prize pools. And it might even honestly, it might not even end up being an expenditure if you have buy-in tournaments too, where you have something they put on the line. But we could do a little bit of those. Um, Other than that, I think that it's important also to reimburse people that lose a lot of troops and stuff when they're fighting in our battles. We need to make it worthwhile for people to do PvP. And as it is right now, it ends up just being a loss, like literally for everyone. The winners and the losers end up losing money from war. It shouldn't be that way. We need to lessen the burden on our warriors. So I think that we should pay our soldiers for the PvP engagements they fight in.
Okay, excellent. And Dutch, what's your plan for treasury spending?
I think I phrased this before. I think Cronus did it pretty well, but my main, component of that would be the recruitment side of it, because I believe it's probably the most important thing, because basically the only thing we have is our numbers, and so what's going to happen is that, yeah, we do have all these members now, we outnumber them with all their 50s and 70 stacks, but retention will become an issue, and so I don't know if I was able to answer the question earlier, but as you were talking about how when the clan update drops and do we have a pact or not, I think as Cronus was saying that we have to strike iron while it's hot. If we can sort of beat back Britannia and Valandia for a while, that will sort of be like, look, we can beat them, and I think that'll be able to get more people in, and I'll be able to get this big new base of people that we'll be able to train up, and then we'll actually be able to beat them once they're all ready and prepared. And so that'd probably be what I'd want to personally put my money into.
Fair enough. Um, so now, this is in relation to the Ronin Civil War. Um, Saki Momo, you can go first on this. So, who do you stand with in the case of the Ronin Civil War, where Ragnar is waging war against Ronin?
Definitely fucking Ragnar. Ragnar's been there, or not Ragnar. Fuck, Calfang. God damn, I sound like an idiot. Not fucking Ragnar.
Yeah.
Ragnar hasn't been here for a while. He hasn't helped us in I don't know how long. It's all been Calfang.
Mhm.
Um, so no, I wouldn't fucking back Ragnar.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, fuck Ragnar.
Cronus.
I can say that Cao Fang and Ronan have done a lot more for us Imperials and our new kingdom and all the clans within it than Ragnar Sturgia ever did. I mean, like I actually have worked with Ragnar before when organizing the big battle that happened with Dawnguard all those months ago, the Battle of Ingbalik. So like I know him from those interactions and meetings I've had with him, and he's a very nice guy from what I've seen. We get along, but like I think that he's just very inconsistent with coming on and less reliable. So yeah, I think that Calfing's very vigilant and he cares a lot about this. And yes, but I know him a lot better than I know Ragnar at this point, and yeah, I'll definitely support him.
Okay, nice. Dutch, you have anything to add?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really close friends with Calfing. I mean, with Ragnar. But, like, in terms of, like, who I trust, because Ragnar doesn't play as much as Calfang. So if you wanted to compare the two, like, if I had to put my fucking bet on someone who would help me, I'd probably put it on Calfang if we wanted to, like, get this, like, going, really. This whole empire.
Okay. So now, now the question is, it's a funny question. So, are you man enough to abolish the Senate and really lead the empire? Dutch, you can go first.
Well, I mean, that's a part of the government. I'd basically be fucking hitting myself in the shins. Hell no.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Cronus.
Oh man. Well, I was emperor during a very unique time when after the split there wasn't any constitution that was left whatsoever. Nothing was in place. So I basically had the ability, if I wanted to, I could have ruled like a dictator. But I chose to do so with restraint. And I kept the Senate intact, and I did not overreach at all. Did everything within my, what I said to the people when I was elected. I maintained a lot of advisors. I listened to people on every decision that I made. I had weekly Senate meetings. I did referendums open to the public and all of that. So, all right, am I man enough to? I don't want to touch the Senate. I think that the Senate is definitely a vestige of the history that we've been through over the past several months. Maybe, yeah, I believe in I believe in the compromise that we've reached with this Constitution. I think that it's good. I don't see any issue with it at the moment. But obviously, like, depending on how things change in the future, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, but dude, I have no plans to touch the Senate or anything. Yeah, but I want, most of all, I want a system that works, and if it works for the people, I will respect it and protect it.
Sounds good. So, another question. So, what's your long-term plan to help HCE become the top clan in this server? What's your long-term plan? Cronus, sorry. Cronus, sorry. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like,
yeah,
okay, sorry. Well, my long-term plan is to build a united imperial culture and identity. I think that it's very important that we actually stand for something, and we're not just about like, oh, who's the strongest? I'm just going to join the strongest. Like, we're Imperials for a reason. I want to build up that brand, and build up that sense of community between all of us. And I think that that's what's going to give us the most strength. But also just build up our sheer numbers and position ourselves very strongly, and then we'll become the dominant faction again. I mean, the Empire was by far the strongest in the first couple of months, but it kind of became crippled by its own strength because the people inside of it, instead of focusing on the enemies outside, they made enemies from fellow Imperials on the inside. So we need to be careful of that. We need to make sure we stay focused on why Imperials need to stick together and how to do that, and it ultimately comes down to the culture. Otherwise, it's just Game of Thrones. We're always going to fight against whoever's the strongest, whether you're inside or outside the Empire.
Okay, sounds good. Momo, do you want to go? What's your plan to make HCE the top of the server?
Um, we just need to crush our enemies and then have them set an example that we don't want to be messed with or that we can't be messed with.
Sounds
Military
good.
dominance.
Very, very appropriate answer for a military leader. That's very good. And Dutch?
Honestly, I have an interesting take on this one. I don't know if anyone saw, but there was talk about mercenaries if you go through the announcements of the clan update. So I think our best bet, because what's gonna happen, don't quote me, but we had a lot of the Imperial clans break off, and they made their own little mercenary bands, and so we might be able to get some of them back. But the general idea is that there's going to be all these mercenary clans. I mean, hell, PG was even one. And so I think the best bet we'd be able to do is just build up our cash in order, because right now we probably won't be able to maintain this big war against Britannia and Valandia after they get their shit together. So I think as a little bit of a precaution, if we can build up all of our gold, stuff that we don't use on recruiting or anything like that, we could probably get these new mercenaries when the new system drops, and that'd probably give us the edge that we need.
Okay. Uh, a good plan. All right. So now the question is, uh, give us 1 second. My question order flipped. Okay. So the question is, Cronus first. Will you side alongside the Western Alliance if DG attacks HCE? If DG comes back and attacks HCE?
That's a very interesting question because I don't know how you define siding together with someone. Let's say we're fighting against both of them, but we're fighting more against one than the other. Is that siding? Not really, right? What if we're neutral with one of them and we're both fighting? There's a difference between sharing an enemy and being allies. So I think that I'd probably want to err more on neutrality in that case. Not, I don't want to associate with these heathens unless they repent, right? And I think that the Imperials, we should try to make a pact between us and stand together. It's not good for Imperials to be fighting each other all the time. I'm sick of it. It's been going on for such a long time, and I've been working up to this moment to try to stop this. It's disgusting. Yeah, so.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Disgusting.
Does any of the other candidates have anything to add to that?
Actually, yeah, I do.
Go on.
My prediction for when DG comes back is that there's going to be a split within their clan. And the reason why, from what I understand of how Dawnguard is playing on New World currently, they have a really tight grip, but just barely, on the server that they're on. And so I think what's going to happen is that if they try to come back here, there's going to be a split in the group. So you will never see the full force of Dawnguard. That's period. Just period. There's no way every single one of them are going to leave New World. So that's just a possibility out the window. What would be the best situation of Dawnguard coming back, though, is that it's some of the good old guys, and we can get them into here. Because you have to realize Dawnguard has just stacks and stacks of money they're just laying on. And so the best bet would be to maybe get some of those members back into here. And then, purge the rest because they're fucking communist cowards.
Fair enough. Fair enough. If anyone else has anything to add, go on, or we'll move on to the next question.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we get all of Dawnguard in here. I don't know. I mean, it seems like Dawnguard, if you just look at their server, and just go into the Discord, you're gonna see nothing related to Bannerlord Online at all. There is not even a single channel that has Bannerlord or any mention of it. It's just completely gone. They said that they're coming back. I think that okay, like they'll come back maybe for like a couple weeks, and they're basically like the biggest grinders ever, in that they will play a game like 24/7 for a short amount of time, but they will get maxed out, and then once they've done everything they feel like they can accomplish, they'll just leave and they'll do something else. They always want to be doing something. I think that they're kind of like, but they're not really into politics or managing their own clan that much. So I feel like they wouldn't have a problem with joining a group that sort of takes care of that for them. Yeah. So I don't want to fight DG, and I want to be friends with them. Hopefully they don't attack us. If they do, I guess we will have to fight them. But yeah, I don't want to make an alliance against them or anything with the heathens. We just need to settle this and come to a mutual understanding.
Okay. And
Man,
yes,
I'm
yes,
sorry.
please, Kafan, go on.
Brandon and I can probably get DG to come to the table to talk. I mean, worst case scenario, like, I know we all, including them, hate Vlandy and Britannia more than we have issues with each other. You know what I mean? So, like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend type deal, and I think they would probably agree to that if you would like. I could get them to at least come to the table to talk, which is better for everyone.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know Takeshi and Bertomer have a lot of rivalry between them, and for sure they want to fight Vlandia. I think more than they want to fight us. I think the only reason they would fight us is if they felt Vlandia was too weak. And I know Vlandia's gotten a lot stronger since DG left, so it'll probably be a lot closer if it was just them. But I don't know. There's a lot that could happen in the future.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. And also, if anyone else has any questions, please feel free to jump in. We're almost reaching the end of our questions. So this one is for Dutch and Cronus. So the question is, will you let go of your past disputes and let each other start over with a new leaf? Dutch, go on first.
I mean, yeah, bro. I've talked with Quintus a little bit, but honestly, a lot of it's behind us, man. It's a bunch of old shit. And just to bring it up here, like, it would make sense, like, if we wanted to get, like, some political influence or something like that back in the day. But a lot of the people here don't even know, like, me or his drama. Like, it'd just be pointless to bring it up. And so I think me and him have a mutual understanding that, hey, there's no point.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, there's no reason to bring it up when we could just talk about the points that are actually like on the table, and like that's really what matters, not what like what has occurred over a couple months. But yeah, so let's just talk about the issues at hand. And I know that we both believe in the empire and we want to help it prosper. So that's enough.
Don't worry, Kronos, I love you.
I'll actually ask a follow up question on that, right? So, Dutch, what